whole reason these kids got into trouble was because of us. We can't let them suffer because of our issues. The only way to end this is by working together. So, what do you say?
Go get it.
I can't walk. Even with the surgery, I might never be able to.
Got it! Never, can't. Those are just words, they're meaningless. It's time for you to get out of that bed and do something.
The end of season 2 was very painful for me as the actor and as playing Johnny, just that, wait a minute. So everything we built in Cobra Kai is now handed over to Kreese, and now I'm out the door. It was this, as an actor, you know, you just felt this emptiness, and then this beach moment where he gives up Cobra Kai, and now he's kind of a man on his own trying to figure it out outside. I loved it, though. I mean, I absolutely love coming into that fresh, and in a sense, Johnny is shedding the Cobra Kai skin. He's evolving, and that's a thrilling thing to play. I loved all the stuff, you know, him finding his inner sensei with Miguel and putting his heart forward and now improvising and figuring it out and finding his new style and coming up with his new badass name, and the shoulder to shoulder with Daniel. And even though that has a hiccup, you know, they just have some things between them, but all of that was thrilling to play, you know, and to put on a new shirt, new dojo and all that. I loved it. I loved every minute of it, and I'm excited that it's finally out.
Your student disgraced me. I have been dishonored all because of him.
Whatever happened, I apologize.
Apology will not give me back my honor.
Well, neither will this.
Well, yeah, I listened. Karate Kid Part 2 we made in Hawaii for the most part, all the exteriors. And the beauty of what happens in Cobra Kai this year is I got to go to Okinawa with Yuji Okamoto. So the Karate Kid Part 2 was, the wonderful thing about that film is you dove into Miyagi's world. And LaRusso, through the eyes of a teenager, got to experience a different culture. So we got to see this different culture, but then we got to see this rivalry and how it was born back in the day between Sato and Miyagi and this other world. You had the beautiful and talented Tamlin Tomita, who is just spectacular then and now, and Yuji and his character that was such a dark nemesis for LaRusso. I mean, you know, being picked on by the Cobra Kai in the Valley was one thing, but being in another country and being hated by a rival is another. And it led to a fight to the death. So the stakes were just higher in Part 2. Now having the opportunity to reconnect with those two wonderful characters, and in Cobra Kai Season 3, dive into areas of knowledge about Miyagi-Do and knowledge about Mr. Miyagi that LaRusso never knew, and therefore our audience, our Cobra Kai audience and the Karate Kid fans have never known, is a great way to inform characters going forward. And that's what the show really does well. And I'm super proud of those scenes and those moments, and the fact that we got to shoot a little bit in Okinawa. It was sort of as close as I could get to have the spirit of Pat Morita and Miyagi in our show.
What are you, Tango and Cash?
No, Tango and Cash were narcotics detectives.
Oh, I'm sorry. You do realize neither one of you are cops, right?
You know, they both have the same mission, but two completely different styles and ways of going about things. So that's, you know, they're heading in the same direction, but they're peeling apart at the same time. You know, Johnny instigating everything, and it was really fun to, you know, to be in the car and know that we're gonna go and do something together. You know, that was a great feeling. I love that. You know, and you know, of course, the corn nuts fall down, and then, you know, and his wife calls and all that fun stuff, and then going and doing the fight. The idea of going against some bad guys with Daniel was fun, and then the way it flips, and as soon as he pulls me off somebody, now it's back on between the two of us, and we're going at it. I mean, what a blast, you know. When I read that, it was like, that's awesome, you know. Filming that was really tricky. We didn't have a lot of time, and there's a lot of bodies flying around, so the actual filming of that scene was brutally hot, and we had a few hours to make that happen with a big stunt team and a lot of coverage. And in fact, the fight was choreographed even bigger than what you see. It was just what we could get was there. But then the cool off period of that where we both push each other and now we realize we're fighting each other, and then boom, it's right back again, and look at Miguel, look at Robbie, you're a bad dad, you're a bad sensei, yeah, you're a real great teacher, get my car back. That's freaking great writing, man.
Yeah, I love that scene. It was fun. It was done in pieces. My favorite stuff of that is once the fight's over, once it's like, you're crazy. No, you're crazy. Yeah, well, you should. And then when we each take jabs at each other, yeah, well, look what happened to Robbie. And then Daniel comes back to, I forget what his line was, but it was a real low blow to Johnny. And then you feel that they both feel bad for saying that to each other. And that's a level that we hadn't seen before. Even when he says, you better bring that car back to the dealership as the tag.
That's my favorite.
It's just like, that's what's important. Like, well,
that car better be back on the lot.
And so there's a level in Johnny and Daniel there that we haven't seen in the previous, 21 episodes that will continue going forward, but they can't get out of their own way a lot of times, and they're each other's kryptonite, if you will.
Out of nowhere, the guy sucker punching.
What an asshole.
I know, man.
What a thrill, man. I mean, to get to go do that and walk the same kind of thing and patterns. And she's fun, man. I love Lisa. She's just so natural and easy. And it was just picking up right where we left off so many years ago, saying goodbye on the set of The Karate Kid. It was that long ago, and I bumped into her over the years. To have her back and to watch her, she's a lot like Ali, but she's Lisa, but she created this Ali character, and to watch it fall on her again, and to me embody Johnny again, and to get to say the lines the writers wrote between the two of us, it was really, really special, from the date, the lunch date, to the golf and stuff, the bubblegum stuff on the Ferris wheel, and and she packs a punch, man. She even in Karate Kid, when we did that scene in the country club where Daniel gets spaghetti on him and I laugh and she punched me. She was the only person in the Karate Kid the entire movie that actually connected with me with a punch. It was Elizabeth Shue every single time. She couldn't pull her punch, And then we're getting the stuffed animal, and just at the golf and stuff, and she jammed that thing into me, man. And I'm like, gosh, she's tough. Anyway, it was fantastic. I loved her, and loved the character, loved how it fit, and loved what she is between Daniel and Johnny, and how she propels the story, and that she's alive on the show. It was fantastic.
Listen, it was talked about, from the get-go, from the first pitch days. It was about, getting there and when would be the right time. And it was really, that rests in the lap of John, Josh, and Hayden, our creators. They were trying to find the best place to do this, and they wanted it to be, I think, the end of season 3. They certainly teed it up at the end of season 2. It's teed up throughout the series, from when the two guys are at the bar and then looking at pictures on the Facebook. Fortunately, just like everything else with this franchise, it somehow comes together and in a beautiful way. And it was wonderful to have her in the show. The fans are gonna go insane. I think they're gonna love it, and it was great for us. Everyone, be it the Cobra Kai actors that are the OG Cobra Kai guys, or Randy Heller, who plays my mom, or Tamlin and Yuji, and any of the folks that have come back from the original, just brings such an A game to the series. And it's such a, it's just a type of history and connection that we all share. And Elizabeth Shue's role in this is a little bit of, opening up the eyes of these two guys who can't see past their shit a lot of times. And she has certain intentions, I think, with Johnny, and then by seeing everything, she makes her choices as to how to further their stories, and yet it's got all the nostalgia you would want. So I think it's going to be a nice thing going forward.
Too long.
It's all and everything you could imagine. I mean, listen, and YouTube stepped up from the get-go, and did a great job in launching the show, and 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, come on, so it's been a super positive there. And but there was a while we didn't know if we had a home, and we had completed season 3, and then I think Google mandated to YouTube out of the original scripted world. It was just a business choice they made. And then we were hit with a global pandemic, and we're all still dealing with that for sure. But it was like, how do you move this now? And, we wound up where we initially wanted to be, but it's kind of perfect. It's like having an awesome out-of-town tryout, and now you're on Broadway, or, you played in the Grapefruit League and now you're at Yankee Stadium. So, or whatever is a parallel, but it's been an awesome embrace around the world, and we are it's just amazing.
Oh, shit. It's all right, you felt like a champ.
I think overall the arc of Miguel is one that resembles kind of like a roller coaster. I think, when you first meet him, he's someone who really doesn't know where he fits in, doesn't really know, he doesn't have kind of his own voice set yet. And through karate and really through Johnny, he's able to, get some confidence instilled in him, and how it kind of goes overboard, and really he takes a little bit too much to heart. And we see that at the end of season 1 and at the end of season 2. So going into season 3, I'm sure it'll be the same kind of roller coasters of emotions.
One of the harder moments for, Hawk, it is, at the sort of the beginning of his arc, but it's in season 2. Yeah, where, it's a flashback to Eli, super distraught about getting bullied. I think that was kind of I was bullied a lot as a kid, and it's something I very much just like, forget about. And it was just kind of like weird to like bring that stuff up and like remember like similar conversations with my parents. So that was kind of hard, but I'm really, really happy with the way it came out, and I love, all the backstory that they've, given the character. And I think probably some of the most fun I've had is in season 3 when I'm fighting Brooks at the dojo, when all the big buff jocks come in. That's probably some of the most fun I've had. And it's a really fun fight, but it's also a pretty emotionally charged moment. And so that was something that was really, really fun to do, is sort of like let loose on this pad and just punch the crap out of it. It was awesome. It was really, really fun.
I thought we were the good guys.
I think the mid-season of season 3 is really fun for me, because we called that Dark Sam. That's how we referred to her. We were like, all right, Dark Sam's around the corner. Dark Sam got eyeliner. Dark Sam got darker nails. Dark Sam got to learn the bow staff. So I was, super into that whole idea of like Samantha, like in her recovery process, maybe asking herself, well, like, is it so bad to be bad? And maybe I need to take the reins, and maybe that's how you win in life. And, like trying to apply those thoughts to herself. I had a lot of fun with that. And like the flip side of the coin, it was also the most challenging season for me in terms of character arc, because of kind of where that, like, in order to be at a place where you could push yourself to such levels of anger and frustration, and Sam initiates a fight. That's the first time she comes in there and she's like, I'm not going to let somebody punch first. I'm going to punch first. I'm going to strike first. And so that was, a big deal for me. But in order to get to that place, especially for somebody like Samantha, takes quite a big push. So it took a lot of the emotional side, which was challenging and fun in a different way, because I got to like, stretch myself out a little bit, like, acting wise. But it was definitely challenging. Like specifically episode 5, the panic attack mid fight was challenging because I wanted to get it right.
Mr. Miyagi taught me everything he knew.
Let us find out.